the action gets cranked up today with 1A and 2A. Looking forward to that. There's a lot of North Alabama flavor in every classification. We just had Craig McGill of Skyline on the show. The boys are the last 1A game of the day as they take on Georgiana, a very athletic team. And this is the Skyline squad's 26-4, and they've never won a state title. They have such a rich tradition, and honestly, they make postseason runs a lot. But like Coach McGill pointed out, in this current era of the Final Four, they haven't been. This is the first time in 30 years. So it's pretty amazing heady times right now for Skyline to be in the Final Four. Good friend Brian Bellamy is an alum there. Was a really, really good player. Went on to play for a dude named Lenny Acuff, who's a pretty good coach, at Berry College. And so and the ladies got it done, won their first state title a few years ago. The guys are trying to get it done. So that's a great community, as Coach said. There's 3,500 people probably in Skyline. Probably 3,400 are going to Birmingham to represent that community. And so we certainly are very proud of them, and I think that it's a pretty wide open 1A Final Four. It's a tough one. I mean, there's a lot of good programs there, including Calhoun, which is J.D. Davidson's alma mater. They're in the Final Four. They've moved down from 2A to 1A. So again, it's going to be some good action over there though. And we're going to be following it all week. And, of course, we're going to have a lot of teams. Your Bucks are going to be playing in the semifinals as well, as is Huntsville High. As the Bucks will be playing on Wednesday, and Huntsville High will be the last 7A game at 1:30 on Thursday. And then, potentially, if Skyline can get it done against Georgiana, they would be playing the final game of the day on Thursday, because the two 1A state title games, both on the ladies' side and the men's side, are going to be decided on Thursday evening.
Oh, for sure. And there's a lot of fun stuff to get into about that Buckhorn boys basketball team, as well as Huntsville Panthers basketball. But you're talking about a 1A school in this Skyline team. Kind of just talk about the difference between a 1A team and what me and you are used to, Drew, in a 5A, a 6A, and a 7A type of team.
Well, I just think, the 5A, I think that semifinal matchup between Valley, who's the defending champion and has lost one game in 2 years, and then Fairfield, who I believe is 27-2 under Maurice Ford, who won it all at Fairfield in 2020 and has taken multiple teams to the Final Four. That's going to be a really interesting matchup. The other 5A game will have someone close to us. Guntersville will be taking on Viger in the other 5A boys final. And Guntersville and Brett Self, what a tremendous run they're on, as they won 62-58 over at Jacksonville to subdue a really good Scottsboro team that overachieved, I think, this year under Jason Bell. So that's going to be really interesting to see if Jackson Porch and that Guntersville team. Huntsville actually played Guntersville at Guntersville late in the year after the Ice-Mageddon, where they had to make up some games. And one of the teams that was willing to play Huntsville was Guntersville, and Huntsville played well that night. But Guntersville's got a really good basketball team. They've got a rich history themselves. They won it all with Kent Looney in 1975. They've made numerous trips to the Final Four, including Supreme Court's own Jonathan Hyde led a team to the finals under Philip Colley as well. So Guntersville's got a rich history. If it would be a neat deal if they could beat Viger and get the winner of that Valley, certainly Fairfield game. That Valley Fairfield game will be much watched TV, and I do think Buckhorn is the favorite in 6A. I wouldn't be surprised if it's another matchup between Mountain Brook and Buckhorn. That was the finals a year ago, the Northeast versus the Northwest. Buckhorn's playing Helena, who's made a really nice run to get here. They beat a really athletic Fairfield team, a really athletic, McAdory team, to get to the Final Four. But Buckhorn's on a mission right now. That comeback they made against Clay Chalkville was epic, and the Bucks have got a really, really good chance of. I know they play the early game against Helena, but I don't really think that's going to be a factor. This Buckhorn team, I go back to what Caleb Holt said following that huge comeback over, Clay Chalkville, when he said we weren't ready to go home, and Buckhorn's trying to do something that's very hard to do. And they've never done it in the Bucks' history, and that's to win back-to-back state championships on the 6A level.
Oh, yeah, it would be awesome to see you. Drudy Arman is our guest from Talking Ball, weekdays from 7 to 9. And, I mean, you know, we look at that Buckhorn team and we look at that Clay Chalkville comeback. I mean, that is one of those types of wins that you win and then that solidifies that you've got a drive to you that's going to get you at least to the state finals. And it's definitely an interesting one as they then went through Coleman just at 10:30. It was an early morning game, and we talked with Jackson Ramsey. It doesn't matter what time the game's at. Once you get on that bus, that mindset needs to be right going into those arenas.
But I will say it's kind of scary a little bit how similar the run has been for this Buckhorn Bucks like from last year.
Yeah,
I mean, even taking down the same Coleman team. I mean, it wasn't the Sweet 16, but it was in the Elite 8 this time.
Yeah. And without Pinson Valley, of course, I mean, they got to have a different opponent to go up against in Clay Chalkville. But, Drew, before we get you out of here, all right, I know I talked about a little bit of this Alabama-Kentucky game. It did not go the way we wanted it to go, but this Kentucky team, again, has only lost around 6 games on the season. This is a solid squad despite their struggles as of late. What really did you look at in this matchup that made you think, well, Alabama – you know, they're not going to have a chance when it comes down to the end of it?
Well, I mean, I thought it would be a very tough game for Alabama just simply because you have Kentucky coming off of a loss against LSU, where a game that they were in total control of at the start of the second half, and they let get away from them.
Yeah.
And they're playing for seeding in the NCAA tournament. They were trying to finish strong in the SEC. I don't think they're going to win the regular season, but they're still fully capable of winning the SEC tournament and getting a top 4 seed in the NCAA tournament. They have more NBA talent than anybody probably in the SEC. In fact, I know they do. And they played at their peak efficiency. They could have scored 130 points. Alabama didn't defend very well at all and didn't play with near enough intensity or sharpness. They turned the ball over too much, and Justin Edwards got on a roll, played his best game as a Wildcat when you go 10 for 10 and you don't miss a free throw, didn't miss a shot the entire game. And, you've got guys like Robert Dillingham who get it cooking, and he's an exceptional talent. He's another guy that'll be, a first-round pick. But Kentucky did everything right. They shot the ball at over 60%. You're not going to beat a team, especially playing at home, of that caliber of talent if you don't defend. And Alabama still scored 95 points of their own.
Yeah.
I mean, they did not play at their peak offensive efficiency, or they would have scored 115, 120. But they certainly put the ball in the hole well enough. They just have to rebound and defend. That's been the bugaboo of this team all year at times, is they don't rebound and defend. It's really about the 4th time they've been blown out. But even after all that, they still have everything in front of them. If they win out, they would win the Southeastern Conference regular season, because it's been a very tough league. It's been very tough to win on the road, and they've got to stay on the road. It's a 2-game road trip. They've got to go to Ole Miss, who's struggling a little bit, and they hope to get Alabama to get Latrell Wrightsell back, and they will have Muhammad Wagee, so they should have more depth. But they've got to play harder, defend better. And if they've responded all year to when they played poorly, if they do that again, they'll have a chance to beat Ole Miss. And then you've got game day coming on Saturday against Tennessee, a Tennessee team that dominated you in Knoxville, and a Tennessee team right now that probably a lot of people have favored to win the SEC, even though they've got a tough schedule to end it. Auburn's got the easiest, but in between the 3 games that I think they're going to win in routes, they've got to win at Tennessee this week.
Oh, yeah.
And that's going to be very difficult. If Auburn doesn't win at Tennessee, then they don't have a chance to win it. But if they do, we'll see. But that's what Auburn's going to have to do.
Yeah, Drew DeArmond with us from Talking Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. And just kind of one question for you. Does there need to be a little bit of a lineup change? Because I'm just kind of questioning why we continue to have Jaron Stevenson in the starting lineup when it seems like someone like Pringle would be a little more efficient in his spot when he hasn't been playing too well over the last couple games.
Well, I mean, they were trying to give Jaron some confidence, and he's crucial to their success as far as his ability to play down the stretch of the postseason. They're going to need him to be a guy that can make shots if they're going to make a run to win this SEC regular season, or to win in Nashville, or even in the NCAA tournament. So they were going to continue to go to him because they believe in him. He has made some plays early in the season. I think he may have hit the freshman wall a little bit, so they're going to have to get him back. But certainly Nick Pringle, played well, I thought, leading up to the game at Kentucky. And then I thought he did some good things in the Kentucky game, but like all of them, everybody on the team basically, they all struggled to defend. But I still think, when Breitzel gets back, they're going to go back to the small starting lineup, but they will go to Pringle early. They didn't get, you're mentioning Stevenson, but they didn't get anything out of Sam Walters at UK either. Sam Walters poured in 14 against Florida. He did not. I don't believe he made a shot against. He didn't play a lot, didn't defend real well, didn't rebound, and went 0 for 2 against Kentucky. So they're going to need more out of him. But before I go I also wanted to give a shout out too. It's a huge opportunity for Huntsville, and we'll talk more about that later in the week too. But that 7A Final Four is a good one. Luckily I've been blessed to see every Huntsville game, and they've played all three. They weren't scheduled to play Enterprise. They played them in the finals of a tournament over in Orange Beach. And then, of course, they played Hoover in Central Phoenix City. That Hoover-Central Phoenix game, that's going to be quite a game at 10:30, the first semifinal. And then Huntsville will take the court at 1:30, the final game of the 7A of 4 on 1:30 on Thursday. Hopefully after that, the final game of the night, we can if Skyline can beat Georgiana later this afternoon, we'll see Georgiana and Skyline hook up today. Hopefully Skyline can win that game, and they would be playing for a state title, and boy, that would be a great opportunity for the Skyline Vikings to win it. Also today, Mars Hill, their boys and girls are playing in 2A, man. Ooh. So there's big opportunity for North Alabama. Skyline as well, but Mars Hill's the defending 2A girls champion, and then the boys are playing down there too. So there's going to be a lot of 1A and 2A flavor guys to follow going forward. And to be honest with you, the 2A girls, there's a ton of North Alabama flavor there. So we're going to be watching that very closely.
Yeah, for sure about that. Drudy Arman from Talking Ball has been our guest. We appreciate you hopping on with us. We'll get back with you on Wednesday, but for now, we just got you guys prepped for the week in all things basketball, except for the NBA, because that's Bandy's job. He'll do it later on in the show.
There's nothing going on anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough time right now in general, waiting for a lot of these sports to get started. But the
East is nothing and the West is a mess. What's new?
I mean, guys, but think about this. This is how strong girls basketball is in the North. These games will be played this afternoon and later in the evening because 2A is after 1A. But the two matchups in the girls are Mars Hill and Cold Springs. That's Florence and Coleman, basically communities. And then Eider from Sand Mountain is going to be taking on Luverne in the other semifinal. So you got 3 North Alabama girls 2A teams. So a lot of quality young ladies getting a chance to compete for a state championship and a blue map and odds are there's going to be one coming back to North Alabama.
Oh, no doubt about that. We got to hop into a break. When we come back, we're going to get a little bit more into that Alabama-Kentucky game, look at Nate Oates' pre-speech, as well as get your guys' reaction on the game as well. 256-5764
97.7
is the number to get in on the Morning Blitz here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
March Madness begins in the Rocket City as the Conference USA Men's and Women's Basketball Championships come to the Von Braun Center March 12th through the 16th as 9 teams look to punch their ticket to the NCAA tournament. Lock in your seat for all the tournament action now and get the best seats available to be right on top of the action. And thanks to our friends at Dave & Buster's and Main Event, we have Power Passes available in 4-pack single session tickets available now that include $60 in savings. For more information, visit VonBraunCenter.com or visit the VBC box office.
Hello, sports fans! The Alabama State Senate will soon decide if you get the right to vote on a lottery, casinos, and sports betting. But they need to hear from you. Did you know Alabama is one of only 12 states where you can't legally bet on sports? House Bill 151 allows you to choose whether you can place a bet on the big game this weekend. Call your state senator today and tell them to vote yes on the lottery and gaming bill. For more information, go to sportsbettingalliance.org. Paid for by Sports Betting Alliance. sportsbettingalliance.org.
From heirloom diamonds to contemporary jewels, Loring & Company is the place to find something truly special. Whether shopping for a diamond ring for that once-in-a-lifetime occasion or marking a milestone birthday or personal achievement with a Rolex watch, you'll find just the thing in our edit of the world's most sought-after brands, including David Yurman, Roberto Coin, Marco Bicego, and Fopay. Expect a treasure trove of the world's most unique, even breathtaking earrings, rings, necklaces, and bracelets, making choosing just one piece a challenge in itself. Loring & Company Jewelers on Airport Road.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. For this Monday night, expect to sit under a mostly cloudy sky. Low temperatures are expected to fall into the upper 50s for the overnight. Heading into your Tuesday, a few isolated showers going to be possible mainly in the morning. We'll see mostly clouds throughout the rest of the day. High temperatures going to be topping out in the mid-70s for the afternoon. We could also see gusty winds as high as 35 miles per hour. I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio at 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
I wanna thank you. Thank you for making us your #1 choice for sports talk in North Alabama.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Hello, welcome back in to the Morning Blitz. The most energetic sports talk you'll get here on the 97.7 ESPN The Zone Network. John Abraham Captain cool around next to Bandiman Bailey Lowery.
Hey, what's up?
It's a Monday, Bandy, and we had a lot of fun this weekend. But before we get into what we got into, we got to get into the phone lines. We got a few guys on that want to talk a little bit of sports. Bandy, who do we got first?
We got Jeremy on the hotline. What's going on, Jeremy?
I want to apologize first before this because I'm about to open a Pandora's box.
Here we go.
I don't know if y'all follow Bleacher Report, but they probably posted the dumbest thing that I have ever seen in my life be posted on their page.
What they got?
The best helmet in college football. They did a top 9.
Oh, geez.
And I'm going to read you from number 1 to number 9 who they put.
Okay. Let's
Ohio State, Notre Dame, Florida, Florida State, Pitt, Oregon, Miami, Arkansas, North Carolina.
Okay.
They put
Now,
North Carolina as number 1.
No, they're number 9.
No.
I went
okay.
from 1 to 9.
All right, go ahead, Jeremy. Go ahead.
Here's my problem. Number 6 is Oregon.
Uh-huh.
Oregon can't even decide what helmet they want to wear every week. So how do you put them on the list? I mean, that's stupid. Miami, they don't even have Miami's white helmet on here. They have it looks like Oregon's helmet.
Yeah.
And in Arkansas, I understand being in maybe the top 15, but they've left off some pretty good schools.
Yeah.
And they left off Penn State. They left off Alabama. They left off Tennessee. They left off Ole Miss's light blue helmet, which is the best helmet in the Southeastern Conference on a Saturday night. When them lights are hitting it just right, that light blue, powder blue Ole Miss helmet, love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
No,
But they've left off. What about Michigan?
That's what I was going to say. We have Natty Dan on the line as well, which he's going to hop on with us probably and complain about it as well. But, like, number one, okay, you get an Ohio State team. It's not the helmet that's good. It's the stickers you put on the helmet. Notre Dame, I will agree. It is one of the better helmets in all of college football. You go down to that Miami one. This is Miami whenever they had their Nike uniforms. This isn't even like the Miami of today. This is the 2014 type of Miami helmet. And then again with Oregon, I mean they have like 7,000 different types of helmets they want to throw on. Is it the best helmets from that school, or is it just that one helmet that they love?
Well, here's the problem I have with it. The helmets that even with the Ohio State and the Notre Dame and the Florida State, the Pitt, these schools don't even stay with one helmet throughout the year. Yeah. Every school on this list right here has an alternate helmet that they wear during the year, and it's just like put some of these schools that traditionally keep the same helmet. Yeah. And I don't know what the problem is that everybody hates tradition in college football now, and they're trying to get away from it. But tradition is what made college football the best thing that happens in the fall over NFL.
Jeremy,
I want to see some more experimentation with helmets. I want to see some of these design guys go crazy. I want to see that old school Alabama A, like the Alabama A with the elephant coming in behind it. I want to see those back on the helmet. I want to see them go nuts.
Danny, I'm going to stop you there because we were just talking about tradition. I love tradition. College football is all about tradition. It's the 2020s now. Tradition from college football has been thrown out the window. I appreciate you bringing up this conversation, Jeremy, because I love when it comes to uniforms, when it comes to helmets. This is something that drew me into the sport in the first place. But the tradition, a lot of these things, it's gone. I mean, even Ohio State's got this black helmet that they throw in there every once in a while. Notre Dame, they, again, stick with their normal stuff until that Shamrock Series game. And then, Florida, they also have a bunch of different helmets with their white stuff. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. But we appreciate you calling in, Jeremy. As always, good stuff by you.
All right, yeah.
Good stuff, Jeremy. On with us. Now, let's get Natty Dan because he brought up Jeremy brought up the Michigan. Where's Michigan up on this? And one guy, Mr. Natty Dan, says Michigan's got one of the best helmets in all of college football. Natty Dan, how you doing today, man?
Gentlemen.
Sir.
Without a doubt, the best helmet in college football. Yeah, I'm going to tell you why. Just like, for instance, one of the greatest basketball players was Michael Jordan. Mm-hmm. When they see the swoop on Nike, or they see the Michael Jordan picture of him dunking on memorabilia on their clothes, everybody knows it's Michael Jordan. Mm-hmm. Okay?
Very true.
When you see that winged, beautiful helmet that's never changed, everybody knows it's Michigan Wolverines national champions.
Or Delaware, or it could be Delaware. You could be throwing them.
No, it ain't Delaware.
I think of the Newmarket school, the Buckhorn Bucks.
Oh yeah.
I moved down south to get away from the Yankees, but you know what? I still have family up there, and they're my family. I love them. Mm-hmm. But I'm telling you, not that Yankee. That's too far Yankee for me, Delaware. As far as that's a tree hugger state. Okay, I'm not doing that.
Too small of a state, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's right. You fly over it, and all of a sudden, bam, it's gone. Okay, that's what the states are. Yeah. But the bottom line is this: you see that winged helmet. There's no doubt about it. We all know who it is. Mm-hmm. And right now, they're the national champions.
Yeah. Well, you get it.
That's not why I called. Why I called is about your dad. If your daddy's listening, I'm going to get him today. I'm practicing now with y'all. Yeah. But your daddy better watch out. Look over your shoulder. Guess who's coming? It's a big Red Wing. What's coming? Okay. This general manager is proven with Tampa Bay Stanley Cup. The Red Wings, the Patrick Kane acquisition is unbelievably awesome. He's getting healthier. He's playing like he used to play, and he is. I think he's number 2, but not many goals behind the player he plays for. He plays for the Sharks, Polinsky or Polink, whatever. Yeah. That guy is the number 1 scorer, American-born player. Patrick Kane's right behind. And the way he's playing right now, the way he did the game overtime against Avalanche, okay, Then the second game after that, he was involved in all these games.
Mm-hmm.
The St. Louis Blues 6-1.
Yeah.
And then this weekend, when they hanged Chris Chelios' jersey up in the rafters, okay, and Chelios had to mention the Red Wings. He had to because he won Stanley Cups with them. He got booed out of the place, all right? But facts are stubborn things. So what happens, they put the rafter up, the game goes in overtime. Patrick Kane scored the game winner. I'm telling you, Stevie's got this team looking a lot like the Russian team back in the day. Went back-to-back.
Yeah.
You know what? They'll make the playoffs this year, okay? But I'm telling you, I'm going back home in October. I got some cash. I'm going to find some Benjis in my back pocket, and I'm putting them on the Red Wings to win the Stanley Cup next year.
Okay.
Now, Tom, you know, he loves his Boston Bruins, but, Tom, we're nipping at your heels, Tom, and we're going to shut you down. This team is looking a lot like the Russian team, and, man, we had players. And he's putting the old with the new, and I'm telling you, we got gamers. They all can score goals. They can skate like crazy. So I'm high on the Reds, as you can tell.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? But there's two. Again, let's go back to the topic we just talked about real quickly because I got to get off, let other people on.
Yeah.
But the wing helmet and the Red Wing, all right, those are iconic. Everybody know whose it is. They have not changed because we're the greatest of all time.
Hey, I'll say those are true blood teams right there, whether the Red Wings or the
Tom,
Michigan Wolverines.
You better get your stuff together. I'm coming for you at 12.
Good stuff, Natty Dan. I don't know what he thinks. Like, does Tom doesn't listen to this show every day. I'll say that. All right, I don't listen to his show every day. He doesn't listen to my show every day. On Tuesdays, he might listen to my show. He might tune in. He'll give me some pointers as well. But we got to hop into a break. When we come back, Bandy, we're going to get into what we got into this weekend, as well as play a little bit of what Nate Oates had to say after that Kentucky-Alabama game, and continue on with this Madhouse Monday here on the Morning Blitz on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Free air-chilled boneless chicken breasts and 4 juicy boneless pork chops with your order. OmahaSteaks.com/VSiN.
Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
Major League Baseball spring training in full swing. The Dodgers enter the season as the favorite to win the World Series at plus 375, with Atlanta the second among betting favorites at plus 550. The defending World Series champion Houston Astros check in at plus 800, with the Yankees at plus 900. Aaron Judge a plus 550 favorite to win the MVP, with Juan Soto at plus 600, Corey Seager plus 850, and Yordan Alvarez plus 900. Julio Rodriguez plus 1,000 to win the MVP. Closing in on March Madness, Connecticut a plus 400 favorite to win the national title, followed by Houston and Purdue at plus 700, Arizona plus 1,200. Get the latest lines and more at vsin.com.
If you're looking to get a new car, you could really cut expenses by bundling your car and renter's insurance with Progressive. Sure, you love your old car, but you know it's not normal to give instructions on how to open the window. It should be self-explanatory, but it's not. And notice how when you're in other people's cars, you can feel cushion in the seats? That's pretty nice, right? No, it's just normal. So bundle your renters and car insurance with Progressive and put the savings toward a new car. It's time. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. Coverage provided and serviced by affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
Hello, sports fans! The Alabama State Senate will soon decide if you get the right to vote on a lottery, casinos, and sports betting. But they need to hear from you. Did you know Alabama is one of only 12 states where you can't legally bet on sports? House Bill 151 allows you to choose whether you can place a bet on the big game this weekend. Call your state senator today and tell them to vote yes on the lottery and gaming bill. For more information, go to sportsbettingalliance.org. Paid for by Sports Betting Alliance. sportsbettingalliance.org.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time, or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing. We have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates. Residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Not looking or feeling your best? No energy for the things you like to do? Ready to look and feel younger? Make your appointment at Advanced Life Clinic, one of the region's foremost destinations for patients interested in looking and feeling their best. Specializing in advanced laser treatments and weight loss, male and female rejuvenation to offset the effects of aging, and more. See how Advanced Life Clinic can help you enjoy your life again. Call 256-882-6555 or log on advancedlifeclinic.com.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. For this Monday night, expect to sit under a mostly cloudy sky. Low temperatures are expected to fall into the upper 50s for the overnight. Heading into your Tuesday, a few isolated showers going to be possible mainly in the morning. We'll see mostly clouds throughout the rest of the day. High temperatures going to be topping out in the mid-70s for the afternoon. We could also see gusty winds as high as 35 miles per hour. I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This will turn journalism on its ear.
Watch our stream on WZZN TV on Twitch and YouTube.
But you are the greatest hero in American history.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Guys ready to go. I didn't. They looked great. We looked awful. Our defensive intensity was not that. I mean, I told our guys after the game, we've had question marks about our defense all year. Those question marks are completely erased. Everybody knows that we don't really guard at this point because I thought our effort stunk. I mean, part of the issue was we turned it over. They scored 29 points off our 16 turnovers, so you can't turn the ball over that much. Our starting backcourt had too many turnovers. We need to do a better job attacking them, taking care of the ball. But, we had us for giving up 16 points in transition, not including the points off turnovers. So you take the 29 points off turnovers, 16 other points in transition, all of a sudden you're at 45 points before you even give your half-court defense a chance to get a stop. And then once they got on the half court, I didn't think we were that great in the area either. So, and Kentucky shot the ball pretty well. They were the team that's supposed to be able to shoot, and they shot it twice because we did. They gave up 54% from three. We gave up 63% from the field, and any kind of decent defense was played in the last 8 minutes when I thought the game was already over.
Those were the comments that Coach Natos had to say post-game to open up that interview with him. I mean, I got to agree. I mean, if you're ever looking for, the exact problem to what a team is having, definitely look at these coach interviews because, I mean, when it comes down to it, Alabama, these question marks that were, on their defensive side, I don't know. Those have already been understood for the entire season. This defense is not a team. It's not a defense that's going to be able to hold a candle to a lot of these bigger teams whenever it comes to their offense and their defense being a little bit more rounded, I will say. Alabama, very good on offense. Very good. But even the offense can get shaken up whenever that other offense and the other defense is playing a little bit better as well. We saw it happen with the three-pointers just going down one after another for this Kentucky Wildcats team. I mean, they were 54.2%, okay? If you're over 30, it's usually, a pretty decent sign. If you're over 40, you're doing great. If you're over 50, you're doing wonderful, all right? Alabama was playing great at the beginning of this game, but it just slowly started pounding on them. On defense, they started letting buckets go, and then they started letting more and more and more, and that's what led to the 59 points being scored in the second half of that game. Kentucky, of course, getting the win, 117-95. Their most points against a top 25 opponent in school history. Quite a wild game, to say the least. Bandy, kind of just talk a little bit about your perspective of this one, because we knew it was going to happen someday, all right? It was going to be exposed, but they're still sitting atop the SEC, tied with Tennessee.
I wouldn't say like being exposed, but I mean, this was going to be a tough game. And Alabama does. I mean, they have the gimme game.
Mm-hmm.
They could give up one loss, still stay atop the SEC. But now that matchup against Tennessee becomes even more important.
Oh yeah,
because lo and behold, this is going to be the battle for. I mean, if they both win out, this is going to decide who the winner of the SEC is.
Oh, for sure, Bandy.
But with this Kentucky squad, we've known all year long they've had the talent to go one-on-one with pretty much any team almost any team in the nation, talent-wise. And they really showed that here. I mean, you're shooting 60% from the field, 50% from three at home. That's going to be tough for any team to beat.
Oh yeah.
Let alone, I mean, you're not able to match up defensively as well. I mean, it was not, like you said, not a good defensive game for Alabama. And then when they really can't match up offensively either, I mean, lo and behold, we just saw the weakness of this Alabama team right here. But I think looking past it, when Nate Oates publicly announces like the shortcomings of this team and says, hey, this is what we need to work on. This is what was weak during this game. And this is what we're going to be working on moving forward. I think that puts a lot of pressure on the guys saying, all right, we need to make sure that this actually becomes a reality.
Yeah.
We need to make sure that we don't make it look like our coach is lying.
Yeah. And I agree with you there, Bandy. I mean, it's one thing, you lose a close game earlier on in the season, and then you kind of move forward from that, all right? I'm going to say Auburn versus Alabama. You go into Auburn, and obviously you drop that one 99-81. That was back in February 7th. And you can kind of look forward, all right? You look forward to the challenges ahead, and you got a little bit more time. Your defense can still kind of, coast along. But when it comes to a team like Kentucky, okay, a great team, I would say, one of the better ones in the SEC, despite what their record shows, because they have had some on and off games. This team still comes in, exposes Alabama's defense, but I think this will work for Alabama in the long run, because now you're going up against Ole Miss. This will be in Mississippi. So it's a little bit of what Kentucky had to do, okay, where they lose a game that they shouldn't have lost. They move forward and they obliterate the next team they see just because this is what they needed to do. Alabama, in a similar situation, is going to need to do that against an Ole Miss team that, again, has been struggling as of late. But this will get them back on the horse to help them as they go into to play up against this Tennessee Vols team that is sitting 5th in the country right now. It's going to be the biggest challenge of the season. Thankfully, it will be at home. All right?
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing that we're going to be looking at.
I'm glad it's a Coleman.
Because the struggles on the road they've been there. Then we've known this for the entirety of the season. But at home, it's a totally different team. And hopefully the whole team, as well as the bench, can get something rolling, as they will be facing off against the Ole Miss Rebels on February 28th, the same day that our Buckhorn boys basketball team will be facing off against Helena in that Final Four round one. It's going to be a lot of fun going down on Wednesday. Bandy, before we continue on, because I want to talk about what we've gotten into this past weekend, I'd like to remind everybody that this show has been presented by the wonderful people over at Fleming Roofing and Restoration, the guys you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. If you're having any roofing problems, make sure you look them up online at FlemingHSV.com to fill out your free quote today. And remember that Fleming always shows up.
Indeed.
I can promise you this much. Your roof will have 0 holes, unlike the Alabama defense. I threw it out there. I had to say it. I mean, look, all right, we love the team, but we got to make sure we take advantage and look at these shortcomings and move forward from that to where we can repair those in the later games down the road. Alabama's still tied in first with Tennessee, so it's not all things aren't lost. This team's still really good. They just got to get to the point where they're going to be really good against those really good competition teams like the Kentuckys, like the Tennessees, like the Auburns, and then moving outside of the league, of course, the Purdues. You got to be able to get up against the Creightons. All of those squads that you're not used to seeing, you're going to have to know that these teams are going to bring the heat. They are well-rounded teams, and they are in the top 10 for a reason. Alabama can have a chance at beating those teams if they get everything kind of figured out, mainly on that defensive side. Because the offense, let's just say the offense is fine, all right? That offense can win a national championship. It's that defense that is going to break through it, and it's going to lose some games whenever they count. Bandy, before we continue on, I want to know what you got into this weekend, because we had a lot of fun sports stuff. Some more fun than others, but what else did you get into, Bandy?
So, well, Alabama, Kentucky was part of that.
Yep.
Got streamed a little bit.
Yeah.
Been getting into some absurd stuff.
Yeah, some Japanese games.
Yeah, I mean, I could spend an entire hour talking about Like a Dragon, but we're not going to get into that here.
Soon enough.
I'm going to recommend everyone pick up Helldivers 2, though.
Okay, Helldivers.
Pick up that, because if you've ever played Left 4 Dead, like old classic, like just like shooting zombies with your friends, replace the zombies with bugs and Terminators. You get 3 of your buddies. It is some of the best gaming you can have right now. It is so much fun.
It does look amazing. It is pretty insane. The explosions, obviously, the worlds that you're thrown into. I have not gotten my hands on it because I'm an Xbox player myself. But soon enough, I might be able to play a little bit of Helldivers as well. A lot of games coming out this year. So if you're like a multiplayer guy that loves to play with his friends, it is a tough year for you because you're constantly having to move to the next game.
There are so many.
Yeah, and I mean that's the same though with sports as well. And
I was also able to finally knock out some golf with my dad because the weather's finally getting better.
Oh, it's so nice outside. I'm gonna be relaxing this week with a little bit of sunshine on me. But I will say I got into a little bit of the NASCAR fun, and I will talk about it when we get back. But the Atlanta race got down to the wire. And although none of my racers got into that final 3 stretch, I will say what we did get was pretty amazing. We'll talk a little bit more about that when we come back, and you guys can still join in onto the show. 256-5764
97.7
is the number to get into the Morning Blitz here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hello, sports fans! The Alabama State Senate will soon decide if you get the right to vote on a lottery, casinos, and sports betting. But they need to hear from you. Did you know Alabama is one of only 12 states where you can't legally bet on sports? House Bill 151 allows you to choose whether you can place a bet on the big game this weekend. Call your state senator today and tell them to vote yes on the lottery and gaming bill. For more information, go to sportsbettingalliance.org. Paid for by Sports Betting Alliance. sportsbettingalliance.org.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Gunner's Landing is one of the Tennessee Valley's finest golf experiences. Just 35 minutes from downtown Huntsville, Gunner's Landing's 18-hole championship jewel is open to the public 7 days a week. Located in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains, Gunner's Landing offers you a golf experience like no other. With beautiful Lake Gunnersville views throughout the round, Gunner's Landing is golf the way nature intended. Gunner's Landing's club repair shop offers a full range of services, including re-gripping and adjusting the lofts and lies of your clubs, even putters. Since the work is done in-house, your clubs will be returned to you in a timely manner. Unmatched in the North Alabama area, it is Gunner's Landing. Schedule your tee time today at gunnerslanding.com. That's gunnerslanding.com.
No payments for 90 days on 23 and 24 models.
financing as low as 0%, and the best deals of the year on America's best-selling truck for 47 years in a row. Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, and I'm here to tell you it's Truck Month, the time of the year to get the best deals on F-150, Explorer, Bronco, Edge, Bronco Sport, and Escape. During Truck Month, get financing as low as 1.9% for up to 72 months on 2023 F-150 Crew Cabs, and lease payments as low as $375 a month. That's a 36-month lease with $62.82 due at signing, 0 security deposit, just tax tag title, and your good credit. Offer ends 2/29/24. Call 539-9441 for complete details. At Woody Anderson Ford, we have over 40 Bronco Sports and nearly 50 Explorers and about a dozen full-size Broncos, all with great sales incentives and no payment for 90 days. Truck Month only happens once a year. Woody Anderson Ford, hope to see you soon.
Have you ever turned your back on God? Have you ever absolutely known the right thing to do and just turned around and walked away in disobedience? I know that I have. Aren't we thankful for our great and merciful God who loves us and forgives us and remembers our sin no more? I'm so thankful that his mercies are fresh every day. I need that, and I suspect you do too. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, and if you're looking for a church home, come see us. We're smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison, and check us out at cpcfamily.org.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. For this Monday night, expect to sit under a mostly cloudy sky. Low temperatures are expected to fall into the upper 50s for the overnight. Heading into your Tuesday, a few isolated showers going to be possible mainly in the morning. We'll see mostly clouds throughout the rest of the day. High temperatures going to be topping out in the mid-70s for the afternoon. We could also see gusty winds as high as 35 miles per hour. I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You know, this process is all about talking ball.
Listen to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond.
What did they want privacy for? To just start talking ball.
Every weekday morning, wake up with Scott and Drew. It's Talkin' Ball. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Now you know. Yo, slick, blow.
What a weekend. I watched some NASCAR, and I gotta say, the Embedded Health 400 in Atlanta Super Speedway, whatever it is, I gotta admit, all right, it looked like a damn slip and slide out there for the first half, but once we got rolling in the second stage, I gotta admit, this is some of the best racing I've seen in a long time, Bandy. Now, although a lot of my racers were already out in the first 2 laps, Noah Gragson was gone, number 10, of course, with Stewart Haas Racing, he was out of there. Joey Logano was leading the pack for a majority of the race. Well, not a majority of the race. I'd say about, a quarter of the race. And then he got wrecked. And then he wrecked out. And then he was down like 22 laps. And he had a little bit of picking up to do. And then, who was my other racer? Who was my other guy? Oh, yeah, Ross Chastain. He did okay, all right?
He did okay?
He did all right, all right? So I had one dude finish in the top 10. The rest of my guys just said, see you later. We're going to get into next week. And that's in Las Vegas, which I'm very much looking forward to. But we look at the ratings, the rankings now, and I will look at the ratings soon enough because I feel like NASCAR is definitely on its way back up to a little bit of relevancy. Of course, that for the longest time, NASCAR started sliding down, and then there was that whole Bubba Wallace controversy and all that other stuff that was going down. But if we look at the rankings right now, Kyle Busch is sitting at number 1. I got to admit, this guy, very, very good racer. He's been racing for a minute. So, of course, that's going to be the case. And he was also able to win the truck race as well. So he had a little bit of that extra practice, which I think is good that, these lower league truck racers, they get to, go up against a veteran like Kyle Busch. And although they don't win that much, they still get to see the talent that they get to look forward to when they move forward. Now, in second place is William Byron. He didn't do amazing in the last race, but he was still able to hold his position at number 2 in the standings. Behind him, Austin Cindric, and then Bubba Wallace sitting at number 4, which is surprising to say the least because he's really just been able to be consistent, although nobody's really been talking about him and he hasn't really had too much airtime because, well, he's never in first. He's always kind of just in the middle of the top 10, and that's what's got him up here.
I got you.
The thing that gets me is, again, with these rankings, they seem a little off. The point system in NASCAR is all over the place, all right? Joey Logano, a guy that's led 72 laps in the first 2 races of the season, and then I'll talk about Todd Gilliland's too because he's led 74, even more than Joey Logano. Both of these guys are 33 and 32. All right, they're ranked way in the back. Despite how well they've done in the first two races, they just have not been able to get it done. All right, they've either not finished or they've been lapped a few times because they've stood at first for so long, and then they get wrecked, and then they have to slow down and maybe get their car fixed, or they're just completely out of the race.
Yeah.
Both these guys doing great stuff, but again, Joey Logano's 59 points back. Whereas you look up at Kyle Busch, a guy that hasn't gotten a win in the Cup Series this season, he's up at the top with 77 points. And the guy that won the race, Daniel Suarez, he got 16 points from that last race. He's at 64, sitting at 7th place. He's gone up 17 positions. Talk about a photo finish, Bandy. 3 wide, going around the corner, taking it in. And by the time Ryan Blaney hit the checkered, the final mark, he was in first. If that was whenever the race ends, as soon as you touch that line, then he would have won the race. But it goes off of the little yellow line in the middle of that checkered flag line that we got to see Daniel Suarez just take over the lead by 0.003 seconds.
Barely.
I don't even know what that is. What's another word for 0.003 seconds? I don't know. I could probably, figure it out, but I'm not gonna. Either way, that's very close, and I gotta say, fantastic racing in Atlanta. And I gotta say, I'm looking forward to what's gonna go down in Las Vegas next Sunday.
But hey, Captain Cool, real quick, I like how you were talking about standings and rankings though, real quick, because since we're about to hit the hard time, I want to talk about just what the standings are looking like in the NBA. I brought up earlier that it looks like a mess, and the West is all right. The West is competitive.
Yeah.
What do you know? Minnesota Timberwolves and OKC are tied it out for first and second. Everyone else kind of within a game of each other. I mean, the gap between the 1 and the 8 seed is 7 games.
Okay.
Not too bad. Over in the East, the Celtics have run away with it. They are 7 games ahead of second place, ahead of the Cleveland Cavaliers, who, I will admit, with Donovan Mitchell, former Jazz guy, they're in a pretty good spot.
Yeah.
And then the Bucks right behind them with Doc Rivers.
How's he been doing as of late?
Not very good.
Well, they got 2 wins in the last, few games. So
yeah, but they're still not a winning record since having them.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Either way, Boston always doing well in the regular season, as we're seeing the Boston Bruins as well on top of their conference over in the NHL. Last year, they were able to make it to the playoffs. What'd they do? Well, they lost in the first round. We'll see what happens with the Boston Celtics, as they will most likely make it to the playoffs.
Sounds like my Jazz right there.
That is the first seed. For me and the Bandiman, we're going to be out of here. In 22 hours, we'll be back. We got a lot of fun stuff coming up on a Tipsy Tuesday here on the Morning Blitz on 97.7 ESPN
fans. The Alabama State Senate will soon decide if you get the right to vote on a lottery, casinos, and sports betting. But they need